What's up, guys? So today it's a beautiful night. I'm out with the fam and I'm going to clean and degrease this engine the best I can, and hopefully it all gets cleaned up pretty well. And I'm gonna flip it, take off the oil pan, inspect the bottom end. As you can see, it's pretty filthy. Who knows what this is, if it's dirt or it's grease. It's probably both, to be honest. Let me close this up because this we got at the junkyard. We'll start spraying it down and scrub it up. Please mind the darkness. It's much cooler where I live now, so it's much easier to work. I'm gonna just spray it down with this degreaser. Just hit it and scrub it. There's still a lot of grease here. I don't have any brake clean, so I'm gonna go at this with my hand. It's so thick, so this will help. But I think brake clean will also make a big difference because this thing is pretty gooped with crud. We got Penelope. She's cleaning the motor with Dad. Humpy. Well, just with a little bit of elbow grease and what I had on hand, we cleaned it up a bit, but it's still super greasy. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now until I get some brake clean, and I'll probably have to really go hardcore at it. But for the time being, I think it's gonna be just fine. So I'm gonna flip it over, get the lower oil pan off, and then probably some point in this video, you'll see me completely clean this car, or this engine. So this is pretty much like a moment of truth. I mean, the top end looks good, but the bottom end tells a whole different story. I'm not gonna take it crazy apart, but I'm gonna take the pan off and see how much we can see once the pan's off. Obviously, we see a lot of metallic. We know this motor's no good and we need to return it. But I have a good idea that this is gonna be a good motor. Hopefully, we won't know until it's actually started, but you know, we're gonna hope for the best. All right, so after prying everywhere, there's so much freaking Honda Bond on here. You can get a look. Let's see what we got here. That's clean. I don't see nothing. I don't really see anything in the oil pan. I'm gonna go through it. All right, so I mean, I'm not doing a crazy check here. Visual, it's strictly visual. I don't feel like taking this apart and messing with it. So as you can see, it's pretty clean. The residual oil that is there, it's clean. I don't see any kind of like metal flakes. I mean, there's some junk in there, but it's not metal. This engine definitely needs another oil change. It looks like it was taken care of, but an oil change, like to run through the motor and then drop the oil, would not hurt at all. It's got some marking there. I don't know. There was tons of Honda Bond on here. I don't know if that's because, you know, maybe this motor was touched before, or maybe the oil pan was leaking. You really don't know. If I were to like search the history, I'm sure it would tell me, but from what it looks like in here, it's super clean, so that's good to see. So I'm gonna put the pan back on and probably wrap it up for today. So it's not gonna end this video, but it'll end this part of it. And I think what I'll do next is I'll buy some brake clean, and I'm just gonna go hog wild cleaning this engine, just getting it as clean as possible for slight disassembly and putting it together. So I'm actually really happy. I could probably take this off and cut it too as an extra measure. So I'll probably do that as well. What's up guys? So it's a new day and I was watching Honda Street Garage. He picked up a new motor because the K20 he had a knock, and he checked something that I did not check yet, and that is the timing. So before I get any further, cleaning this, because I was gonna clean this, I am gonna check the timing, because if this motor is toast, one of the things I won't ever be able to see is if, the valves are bent or something, or the timing's off. And that's something I could address now, or I could return the motor, or I could figure it out. So I'm gonna pop this valve cover off again. We'll show you how the condition of the head looks, because it looked great. And we'll just make sure the timing marks match. So I'll get that off, and then I'll show you when we start doing the timing. All right, that was easy. So take this back off. Forgot to take this out. There goes all my washers. Great. No biggie. Alright, so as you can see, the head is in fantastic condition. It is super clean, and that is something I'm really happy about. But that doesn't tell our full story. So we're going to put the camera over here. We're going to spin the motor, and that's on the K series, it's counterclockwise. So we're gonna go that way. So I'm gonna start doing that. And then I'll show you the marks. And hopefully there's nothing sketchier. Whoops, went too far. Too far again. Dang it. Alright. And we have, let's see, this white mark here. Let's just get it over a little bit. White with the arrow. And we have our timing marks right here. Up, arrow, and this is also up. So that's what we're looking for. So with that being seen, I'm going to proceed cleaning the motor. So yeah, got a lot of work. It's real greasy. And one thing I do want to note is that I've noticed, especially on K series, it could be any motor, but especially K series, is when it's in the junkyard, or even when it's not in the junkyard, the power steering pump sits right up here. Actually, you'll see it here. People start taking these lines off, and the oil literally just gets on everything. So when you're at the junkyard and you see all this grime, don't be afraid. Don't think I don't know, something catastrophic happened, because more chances than not, I'm gonna say the power steering pump puked everywhere. So I think that was my case here. On my K series, the engine block is immaculate. It looked terrible. It actually was worse than this, and that thing runs great. So I'm going to time lapse this whole crazy cleaning process, and then probably get into some things that I plan on doing soon. And also I'll put in a clip of actually the car I pulled this from. It was in a Copart ad. I'll do that at some point in the video. I found the picture of it by searching the VIN, and that's what popped up the ad for Copart. And as you can see, there's some pictures. It lists 0 miles, I'm guessing because the battery was dead and it was a rollover. So I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it is much better than it is, or it was. So everything's pretty much clean. I mean, there's grease in little spots here. Here, I don't plan on changing the water pump. I didn't change it in that car, and I was lucked out. No issues so far. And exhaust side wasn't bad at all. There's really not much oil that could leak here other than the valve cover, VTEC solenoid, oil filter. So this was relatively clean. Like I said, there is like little grooves and stuff I need to hit. I ain't gonna bore you with that. You know, I'll do it on my own time. So anyway, I have some things planned here. So you know, I got the subframe. I got the lower control arms. What else I got? I got the compliance bushings, and I don't know. I need the tie rod ends. I need to re-loop that rack from the Integra. So pretty soon, I think this is what's going to be next, is doing the subframe. And then I got something planned for this motor. I'm going to do something called a VTEC killer cam setup, which basically you take a non-true VTEC head like this one, and you put on K24 Z3 rockers and K20 cams. I need 4 more rockers. I'll get those at the junkyard. That's real easy. Probably do that Friday or Saturday. So we got a lot going on with this, with that. I got some 5-speed parts coming in, so you know, I got to get all the little accessories that I don't need out of here, clear up as much space as I can, paint the subframe. I don't know if I already said that. Prep all that, get the subframe in, figure out about relooping the rack, and June 5-speed. I got so many things going on. Engine, subframe, 5-speed swap, trying to get everything prepared and ready so I can buy mounts. I got a turbo manifold on the way, so we'll mock that up. But yeah, we have a lot going on, and cleaning the engine's not like a real crazy thing to do, but it is necessary. You know, when putting something together, you don't want grease and junk everywhere that can, you know, those things can get inside your oil or mess up seals or whatever. So that way we clean it and we get it ready so we can reseal it and move on with other things going on with the build. So I think that's it for today. I don't have anything else to do. Cleaned the block, talked about what we got planned. Probably the subframe will be next because that's important. VTEC killer setup, 5-speed swap as far as pedals and shifter box and all that goes, and then hopefully get the motor in the car and work on getting things together so we at least start it, make sure it runs, there's no knocking, no smoking, any of that. That way we can start to boost it. So that is it. That's all I gotta say right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Nothing crazy going on, like I said, but I appreciate you guys checking it out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Any questions or anything you want to see about the car, hit me up on Instagram, egchris92. Till next time, later.